A quick summary of the top startup network Europe event in Dublin.
And welcome to the Irish Startup Conference 2025. My name is Adam from Startup Network Europe. We are an Irish company from Dublin, and we've hosted 230 events since 4 years ago in 20 different countries, I think.
The speakers at these 4 events included Emer Higgins, the Minister of State for Public Spending and Reform, the CEO of Enterprise Ireland and Scale Ireland, Chief Sustainability Officers, Chief AI and Tech Officers, Chief Product Officers, startup founders, and top VC investors.
As Minister in the department, I suppose from a digitalisation perspective, I see every single day the potential that AI holds. It can radically change how we design and how we deliver public services to make them more accessible, to make them more responsive.
AI has the ability to be able to run complex calculations, to run vast numbers of simulations. And what that does then is gives us the input then into the problem solving so that we can get to the root cause of the issue quicker, leveraging AI. And the Minister mentioned its use in healthcare. And then I suppose from my own perspective, in consulting, I use our AI every day.
So if you think about health, so the Minister mentioned imaging. So the work that has to be done to get imaging standardised across the country, we're almost there. But I don't think people will be comfortable for some time just trusting a diagnostic out of AI. But I do believe they will feel much more confident in a physician's diagnostic if it's supported by AI.
So we have things like AI agents now who do lots of things across the software development lifecycle, not just coding. If you think about writing code, we code to deliver features to customers. AI agents are really useful for testing as well, for documentation.
Everyone in the room here is really, I'm sure, bought into the fact that AI is going to be transformative, it's going to change work, it's going to change how we do that, and hopefully it'll be largely for the better, it'll be productive, it'll improve how customers interact and so on. So I'm very optimistic about where this is going. But if we were just to take a bit of a step back, it's been 2.5 years since ChatGPT launched, and many organizations actually have probably struggled to make the level of advances that you just referenced in terms of the colleague at the previous event where they're using agents to sell directly to customers, because in most instances many organizations are using it more as a productivity enhancer, almost like an executive assistant to do some notes and minute taking, and we know that the potential is far beyond that.
You ask a generative AI model to create a piece of content for marketing in 3 different languages. It creates it in English, and then the other 2 languages are a literal translation of the English. So that tells me that it hasn't really created it in Chinese, for instance. It has translated it from English into Chinese.
First, I'd say that in my experience, data strategies tend to be really focused on structured data coming out of operational systems and driving things like terms like machine learning and data science that we used to use, and then we call that predictive AI. So first, I'd say data strategies are and need to expand to consider both structured and semi-structured forms of data, particularly things like generative agentic AI, where they combine both that structured and that semi-structured data organizations.
Anything we do with data, or gathering customer data, or user data, we should do it in a very ethical way, right? We shouldn't just go grab data here, there, and everywhere, right? Because that's not a good thing to do, right? But I think get as much data as you can in an ethical way. Use that data to feed your machine learning models, get that data and AI flywheel going. I think it's super, super important.
For healthcare, it's a vast area. If you go to a GP for a regular visit, it's hard for him to remember what your cholesterol levels were and how your body changes, right? So these are all the elements that you need to understand and train the model to give you a right symptom checker, right? So these are all the available options for us to explore and look for evolution from a healthcare perspective.
I'm seeing that a lot of technologies like CRM solutions and other consumer engagement platforms are really upping their game on incorporating AI.
Applications we built towards leveraging AI, and recently AI agents that leverage models. In terms of governance, that's the word that everybody hates talking about, that everybody keeps talking about. So I guess where we start with governance is not where most people think, which is what's the new governance required for AI. In fact, the first place I want to talk about is the use case. And the right approach is to look for the use case that is the best fit for AI implementation. And often what people forget is those use cases already have a bunch of regulatory needs. Right? If you're building an application in healthcare, in the US, it will fall under HIPAA compliance.
What kind of risks are organizations facing that are new and they've never faced before, and how can they mitigate it?
I think before going to the risks, maybe I just want to emphasize on what occasions we are adopting AI, right? Maybe I'll start with the two use cases. Maybe the product development, right? Something like say a company has an enterprise has a product, and then they want to upgrade it, or they want to build a new product using AI.
Lots of lawyers don't have any idea what the real fundamental of AI. So that is why it is really important to understand why multidisciplinary work is a must right now.
After a full day of learning and inspiration, we wrap up with meaningful conversations and networking at Café in Seine, a well-known venue in the heart of Dublin. It's always a pleasure to attend these events. Cheers and sláinte! See you again soon!